reviews.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Rosten's Reviews. My name is Mr. Rosten, 7-4 social studies teacher here at BMS, and I am very, very excited to bring you another episode of Rosten's Reviews. So, let's first start off by giving a big shout to the parents who came to open house last night. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it. Miss Norris and I had a great time meeting you and discussing what we are learning in 7th grade, U.S. history and ELA. Oops, I forgot. I'm in 7th grade. All right, let's jump into what we did in U.S. history this week. So, the first thing we did, friends, is we learned about the French and Indian War. Let's make this nice and big for you. And we did the five W's for the French and Indian War, and we learned that who was involved with the conflict was the British, the colonists, the French, and the Native Americans. What happened during this conflict? Pretty simple. Britain and colonists won. French and Indians, or Native Americans, excuse me, lost. Where did the fighting take place? The Ohio River Valley. When? (1754 to 1763). And what were the major causes? Land, resources, and trade routes. So, we did the 5 W's. Then you did a little research, and you found 3 reasons. 1, 2, 3. About why the British were upset after the French and Indian War, and 3 reasons why the colonists were. And then for homework, you wrote yourself a Peel or a Races paragraph to help answer that question using evidence to support your answer. So if you remember, we take a look here. How we write a Peel is a point. We TTQA the question, and you give your side of the argument and your reason. Evidence, we cite and quote it. Elaboration, explain what the evidence means in your own words and show how it proves your point, and then link where you restate your claim or bring it back up to the point. And then we have our races, which, as you know, restate the question, answer the question in your own words, cite evidence, give the title and quote your evidence, explain how the evidence proves your point, and then sum it up. So we did that for the French and Indian War. And then we moved on to the Proclamation of 1763 and how it impacted American colonists. And we did a little mapping activity to show where the Proclamation of 1763 line was and how it impacted the colonists. And we learned that it impacted the colonists in 3 ways. 1, they weren't allowed to move westward, which made the colonists who had bad soil, like the middle colonies and the New England colonies, upset, because if they could move, that means they would have better soil and they could start farming and making more money, which would be awesome. But Britain said no. 2, Britain said that you couldn't print your own money. And 3, that they were limiting them from moving west for their protection. But as we know, the middle and New England colonies had good relationships with the Native Americans. So that made the colonists grumpy. Boo. So what we are going to do next week, hold on, I'm trying to get back here. Boom, there we are. So what we're going to do next week is we're going to look at the other taxes that British Parliament put on the colonists and how that impacted them and why it made them even more angry and led us to the American Revolution. So that's what we did in 7th grade U.S. history this week. Whew, What a week it was, friends. So you'll notice I'm wearing my maroon today. Today we did our school colors and school spirit wear. My sweatshirt is somewhere up in the front. But I also have my jacket right here. Broadview. What up? And that's what we did in U.S. history. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I got, friends. Next week, we are going to finish our taxation without representation, and we are going to jump into our very first HIQ about the Boston Massacre, which I'm very, very excited to start, and it's going to be awesome. So we've got big things coming next week. We had a great week in U.S. history this week. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Be kind to one another. Peace be with you and with you. Rosten